Hey there, everybody. Michael Bolton III here with Lazarus Tellraven, bringing you a great match on the 6th day of our Alliance tournament. We have Suddenly Spaceships versus Gypsy Band. And just before I throw it over to Laz, I would like to let you know that both these teams have brought Balgorn flagships to this match. Why don't you tell us a little bit about these teams?
Yeah, they're very similar setups. You get two Vindicators Balgorn for Gypsy Band, whereas you have a Kronos Vindicator Balgorn for Suddenly Spaceships. The important thing to know about the Kronos, it has similar bonuses to the Vindicator, but it is worth less points than the Vindicator. Faction Battleship is 20, with the Kronos being 17.
Yeah, with those 3 less points and the utility highs that the Vindicator does not normally have, we can see all an Oneros and a Guardian. The Guardian will likely be transferring with one of these faction battleships, probably the Kronos.
Yeah, these two setups, they warped in good, different beacons. They're about 30k apart, the battleship setups, and the frigates are all behind them trying to use them as a buffer.
And the match is starting. We can start seeing a bunch of E-War come down on the Balgorn and the 2 Vindicators for the Gypsy Band team.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of a big slugfest. Remember, we got ECM drones being dropped by Gypsy Band. They're going straight for that, what would probably be the Guardian.
No, I would think they would go for the Guardian, but then the Kronos would be crucial. Do you know if you see any ECCM on that Kronos?
Yep, we do have ECCM on the Balgorn, and we have ECCM on the Kronos. I do not see any coming from the Vindicator at this time. They've already smart bombed away that flight of ECM drones, so they have 2 ships so far with smart bombs. They're able to take out those ECM drones pretty quickly.
Yep, smart bombs so strong in the tournament for clearing away those dangerous ECM drones. We have damage spread across the frigates for the Suddenly Spaceships team. Damage focused on the Vindicator alone for the Gypsy Band team.
Yeah, we get a lot of damps coming onto the Suddenly Spaceships team. Probably keeping those Vindicators tracking disrupted. But I mean, you're not really seeing much with how much DPS is on the field right now.
Yeah, we're about to see the reps come in from the Oneros on that Vindicator as it enters armor. The Balgorn applying its webs and newts to the opposing Balgorn. An officer and faction newt and web fight about to occur. Damage beginning to fall on the Balgorn for Suddenly Spaceships. We have the Vindicator slowly leaking into armor. Once these teams start dropping into low armor, you're really going to test the skill of that logistics pilot trying to beat the ECM and E-War from the opposing team.
Yeah, all these battleships with web bonuses. So I mean, you're seeing webs just everywhere. You see rookies Vindicator entering about half armor now. He's with that 9% web. He's going about 10 meters a second. I mean, that's pretty slow. Not hard to track something that big going that slow.
Tons of damage coming into that Vindicator's armor. The reps are not able to keep up at this point. We'll have to see is that rep just coming from rep drones or from the Oneros?
That is the actual Oneros repping. He's not jammed. There's no jams at the moment on the field. Yep, there's no EC drones left on the field due to the initial smart bombs. Actually, no, there is one flight. One flight is in the air, and it is being set onto the catalyst, it appears.
Yep, the Vindicator dropping into low armor. If this Vindicator drops, that's a huge problem for the Gypsy Band team, especially with their undership setup. We can see the webs falling all across each team. Multiple webs almost certainly fit into those the mid slots of that flagship Balgorn. Those are officer webs.
Yeah, I think those 3 points they gained from that Kronos not being a Vindicator was huge in this fight. I mean, they were able to upship one of their frigates to a Tech 2 frigate, or just and they were just able to fill out their roster. As you see, the Gypsy Band only has 11 on the field.
And with that one Vindicator down, the other Vindicator now primary, we shall see Incursus about to drop. But trading Incursus for a Vindicator is not a very good trade.
Yeah, I mean, you get half armor on DHP Wildcat. I mean, I really think that with them losing that Vindicator so early, while they still have all the battleships left on Suddenly Spaceships, is going to be the end of this match. I mean, look, you see the Vindicator just sinking so quickly. The Oneros can't keep up, even overloading his reps. I mean, it's just so much DPS on the field. Yep.
Very true. With the officer damage mods, the officer newt shutting off hardeners, things like that, it becomes so difficult. It's important to note that these these logistic pilots are aware enough to not get within the newt range of these Balgorns because they would instantly lose all their cap.
Yeah, I mean, they've got ECM drones still following this catalyst around, not trying to jam out that Guardian. I mean, I guess they see it as futile or what? I mean, it's been on the catalyst the entire match.
Well, maybe they just really don't like catalyst shooting people.
Yeah, both Vindicators down for Gypsy Band. This was definitely an even match at the start, but it looks like Suddenly Spaceships is doing a great job turning the favor. I mean, they do have the EOs, so they do have some sort of ganglinks running.
Yeah, I am surprised that the Gypsy Band team did not go in and try and win the frigate war. They have what I feel is the stronger frigate setup with 3 Ushkers and 4 Harpies. They could go in and dominate, dunk on these Incursus and Crucifiers, if you will, and the Catalyst as well.
So we did see the EC drones get popped very early in the fight, so that's probably what the Ishkers dropped. So that they're down to just their blasters on their ships.
Well, we see an Incursus bouncing around, trying to be repped up by that Guardian. As the Balgorn, the faction fit or officer fit flagship Balgorn, Dr. Cromeg, dropping into low armor.
Yeah, this match is definitely decided. There's Vindicators down. They don't have the DPS to really do much, but as I say that, an Incursus is going to die for suddenly spaceships, as they do have the Ishkers and Harpies, which are very good at anti-frigate support, especially with these Tech 1 frigates on the field.
Very true. Now, with this Balgorn dying, that will likely seal the match. But do you feel? I keep loving these matches where these Balgorns, with their officer webs and officer or faction webs and their officer or faction newts, start coming at each other, because oftentimes the difference in how much money you spend can significantly change your engagement range. If you're fitting the lowest tier officer or the lowest tier faction, and the other team's fitting the very best officer they can find, you are in big trouble.
Well, I mean, once you get to the officer newts, especially, I think the mid-tier officers are about 36k range. I mean, that's pretty long range for those heavy newts. And the great thing about the Balgorn is, as you saw the smart bombs with Balgorn, he has those utility highs. It doesn't have to be newts. It could be the smart bombs, and I mean, they're just so effective clearing those drones that early. If they were able to get those drones, those ECM drones, maybe on the Guardian, they could have turned out possibly better, break some of those reps.
Yeah, I think that this match is pretty much sealed. We'll have to see how long these frigates can survive for the Gypsy Band team. I would love to see the Balgorn, if it does in fact have an officer or a faction smart bomb, just roll through the middle of them and sort of blast them all with extreme prejudice. We can see an Ishkar falling into low armor.
Yeah, these 90% webs on the Vindicator Kronos are just amazing.
Yeah, very true. Web's one of the strongest modules. I actually like them significantly more than Scrams. They just do, especially on these bonus Vindicators. Vindicators so strong in the tournament. I think if they were just damage ships and didn't have those webs, I would not like them. But with those webs, they are just such a range controller.
I mean, and just the sheer amount of DPS that follows behind those webs.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
It's like getting hit by a sledgehammer over and over.
Every cycle of the guns is like a new sledgehammer being hurled out by the pilot, slamming someone in the face. And trust me, I've been hit by a sledgehammer.
Yep, so Gypsy Band is down to 4 Harpies and 1 Ishkar. So, I mean, they're getting looks like he's getting some reps from the Aneros, but it won't be long before they just take out everything else. It's mainly just cleanup duty now.
Yeah, Gypsy Band may try to survive with some points, deny some points to the Suddenly Spaceship team. I actually think that it would be great if Gypsy Band was trying to survive right now, because one of their ships contains all the faction loot from their Balgorn.
Well, Red in the EOS is going around to the Rex now looting in his command ship.
Well, we did see, actually, a little thing to note. In the Raiden versus Evoke match, the final ship left for Evoke actually had the Balgorn loot inside it, so they managed to return with their loot, at least according to local.
Yeah, Evoke was smugging local about that.
Yes, very true. Smug is one of the most important parts of EVE Online. If you can post in local and make the other team feel bad, then that's all the more win for you.
Right now we have Raviolia and the Incursus chasing down the Aneros for Gypsy Band. Once he gets back on that, the battleships will finally be able to catch up. But it looks like they are staying in a pretty tight group together. They're going to kill that Incursus with the 2 Harpies that are about to be on top of it. But the Vindicator is very closely behind.
Do you know that ravioli is one of my favorite kind of pastas?
I did not.
Ravioli, yeah, you can get it in a can. It's really good. Chef Boyardee, top notch. It's the chef's hat that makes it delicious in the can.
Yep, we got webs now being applied to the Harpy as DPS is coming in from the Vindicator, as well as a web on the Aneros from the Incursus.
Yeah, we will see as these ships go down. The Oneros webbed and neuted. It's in big trouble. Harpy dropping as it's webbed. How do you feel? Do you think there's a better choice for a flagship than a Balgorn?
Really, with the points, I think Balgorn is the best choice with the bonuses you get. I mean, just the people just dumping this money onto these officer webs. I mean, even the lowest tier officer web is 18 kilometers. So I mean, that's pretty big. I mean, and they get the web range bonus, so it's just going to further extend it, especially whenever you're running skirmish bonuses, say on the EOS.
Just making sure you can reach out and touch someone.
Yeah, literally reaching out and touching someone.
Now we see the Oneros taking shield damage. We only have 1 minute left in this match. What do you want to talk about in this 1 minute, Laz?
I mean, I really think the 3 points that they were able to spare from the Chronos really made a difference in this match. I
think I agree, especially with the smart bombs able to keep those ECM drones off that Chronos.
Yeah.
Chronos known for its weak sensor strength as Marauder. I really think that they just had so much more utility highs, just able to keep the other team on their toes. Remove the main power of those Iskers in those ECM drones.
Well, we did see these smart bombs go off immediately. They wiped out 2 flights of ECM drones. There was 1 flight left of ECM drones that were stayed on the Catalyst the entire match. I mean, I'm not sure what they were thinking of that. We're coming down to about 15 seconds left in the match. The Harpy's still alive, or 3 Harpies still alive. I don't think they're going to be able to finish off the rest of them. They might get this one for time as we're getting down to the last few seconds of the match.
Seldarine smug smart bombing in your screen there. Let's see if we can get this. Yeah, there we go. Doesn't that look beautiful?
2 Harpies left, and that is the end of the match.
Very good. We will throw it back to CCP Soundwave in the studio.